Welcome to SVG Television News for Monday, March 9th. I'm Jimmy Prince with the details. The doors of food outlet KFC are closed as of Monday, March 9th, 2015. When SVG-TV News paid a visit to its main outlet in capital Kingstown this afternoon, some workers were seen with tears in their eyes, as it appears they were being informed by local franchise holder Ken Boyde of the closure. Two other foreigners from whom Boyde pointed out were financiers from the BVI were also on hand and were talking with the KFC employees. Boyde said the officials were in the country to help restructure the financial strain that the fast food outlet is going through at the moment. The entrepreneur admitted that he is going through a tumultuous financial time since constructing the building at Annesville, which cost some $18 million.
Through a closure, they've appointed a receiver, so the receiver will run the place for a couple of weeks and see how we could put it together.
Why is that? Because what?
Oh, because really it's nothing to do with KFC. It's to do with our building at Annesville. We built this ambitious building, and quite frankly, we haven't been able to get it rented. So we've had to spend a lot of KFC's money maintaining that. We thought we would be the first in the new city. You know, we were supposed to build this new city at Annesville, and we went ahead, spent about $18 million doing that. And now we have to service it with just the supermarket. It's rented upstairs, it's not rented.
Asked if the employers or employees will be out of a job, Boyde said that he hoped to reopen soon, but he could not give a definite date.
Okay. So how are the workers? What is the situation with the workers?
They will be looked after. The workers, we hope to, the receivers are going to look to see how we could refinance, and we're not going to, well, that's one of my problems. I've had some of these workers been working with me for nearly 28 years, and I don't have the heart to let them off. So, and I hope we don't have to.
So will KFC be reopened? That's the question.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know how soon, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, but it will be reopened.
The issue of leadership and what it means to be a true leader was looked at from a woman's perspective at a panel discussion held on Saturday evening at French's house. The panel discussion was hosted by the local chapter of the Universal Peace Federation, whose main goals are to promote unity and peace among peoples and all religions. In her definition of a leader, panelist Jennifer Eustace says an effective leader ought to exhibit authenticity, humility which encourages lifelong learning, and must also be steadfast in her commitment to people.
But what we often look for in a leader are charisma, commitment, and a fighting spirit, concern, and a reflection of our own physical looks and image in a leader. And I don't know if you remember when President Obama won the nomination to run for president against the conservative opponent, there was a woman in the audience, a black woman, who was really upset. And the journalist asked her why she was so upset. And her response was that Mrs. Clinton had the image of what a leader should look like. The implication being that Obama did not. So we project our own feelings and views to the image of this person we want as a leader. And given our insecurities, this image is often manifested in ways that are not consistent with our upbringing and the views of the society as a whole. For better or worse, the reality is that we shape our leaders.
Another panelist, Anesia Baptiste, outlined 5 core values of an effective leader, one of which she says is the ability to listen to the people.
Because arrogance, pride, and following special interest groups rob other persons of rights and freedoms benefits. It's important that an effective leader listen to all of the people. Point number 2, a true and effective leader understands that positions of authority make him or her a servant of the people, not a king or a god. Point number 3, any true leader must recognize that his or her role is the protection of the inalienable rights and freedoms of all people, both majority as well as minority groups. Point number 4, a good leader always encourages the participation of the people in all affairs, whether it be social, political, economic, etc. A good leader always encourages people's participation. As we say in the DRP, people's participatory power, PPP. And point number 5, last but not least, a good leader must always be God-fearing, respecting God as the giver of rights and freedoms to man, knowing that he or she, this leader, will stand in the day of judgment before God for how he or she relates to their fellow men.
And barrister at law, Rene Baptiste, who was also on the panel, says for her, a true leader has a high bar to climb, but most of all, he or she must be able to hold a team together and to appreciate the difference between these members.
Leaders must have a vision to drive their cause. Who would follow a drifter or an uncertain stepper? Because a leader means you're in the front and people, your team on either side, and the followers. The leader must be clear on this vision and have the ability to communicate that vision in a manner that influences the team and the followers. Must be able to chart a course for the journey for the cause and be persuasive so that he or she earns the respect, the love, the honor, the loyalty and support of the team and followers. The leader, however, must not be found guilty of hogging the show, but must be capable of delegating tasks, matching abilities and capabilities of the team, and be unafraid whether or not a team member proves to be better than the leader in the execution of certain tasks. That's where it comes in, the ability to be humble and know thyself.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union is calling on its members to remain focused and resolute during this time. Speaking on Hits Talk on Sunday on the topic freedom of expression and the use of profanity on social media, President of the SVGTU, Oswald reminded his membership that there is always a struggle facing the union, and he says it is important that members stay united.
When we look at what happened in 1975, where teachers were tear-gassed and they were jailed just because they exercised their freedom of expression and because they marched through the streets of Kingston, people were imprisoned. The police was used to try to intimidate the teachers of this country. Let me say that the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union is not in any war against the police force, because they are our brothers, they are our sisters. And as a matter of fact, we work very closely to advance the cause for socio-economic justice. When we bargain, all the workers benefit. We don't bargain just looking at merely ourselves. We look at the state of the economy, among other things. So the police, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. We work together. As a matter of fact, they would come into the schools and they would run the day programs.
Under the theme, Beat Invisible Glaucoma, a number of persons in capital Kingston today were given the opportunity to learn more about the eye-crippling disease which affects millions around the world. The World Glaucoma Association advocates that persons observe the week, which runs from March 8th to the 14th, by researching the disease, which permanently blinds persons of all ethnicities and ages. Ophthalmologist Dr. Benet of Optifam Eye Center described glaucoma as a silent, unassuming disease that affects everyone. He explained that the disease escalates when enough fluid in the eyes is not released to create a balance to give healthy vision.
Damage that is done by glaucoma is irreversible, so hence the importance. You may not know that you have glaucoma because the symptoms does not appear like a sore throat. If you have a sore throat, you will feel changes in your throat. It's caused when the angles in the eyes are open, but it's blocked because of some obstruction in the angles for the eye. Right? And the closed angle glaucoma, you have an obstruction by the iris, so the part of the eye which obstructs the angles of the eye so that the fluid cannot escape. In the eye, there's a buildup of fluid, right? And the same amount of fluid that is produced in the eye should escape from the eye. But what happens is that if there's a blockage, whatever is produced is not escaping in the same amount. So there's a buildup on it, and it causes damage to the optic nerve, the central cable connecting the eye to the brain.
The eye care specialist reiterated the need for persons to continue to get checkups to detect and reverse any possible damage.
The worst thing they do is not get an eye exam. You understand? You need to get an eye exam because what you do not look for, you will not find it. Okay, so you need to go and take a look to see what is there. If you do not do a comprehensive eye exam, there's no way for you to find out whether you have glaucoma. Of course, maybe if your parents or family member may have it, you can do a check. But please take the opportunity anytime to come in at any one of our locations in St. Lucia, Dominica, or right here in St. Vincent.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of Badford Roberts of Beckway. The body of the 80-year-old, originally from Spring Beckway, residing in the United States, was discovered around 4:30 p.m. yesterday at Industry Beach in Beckway. Just to mention also that a post-mortem will be done on the body very soon. A workshop looking at the impact of volcanic ash on the environment and infrastructure will be held here on Tuesday. The one-day workshop will be hosted by NEMO in collaboration with the Strengthening Resilience in Volcanic Areas project of the University of East Anglia in England and the Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies. The objectives of the workshop are to share the current approaches and models in understanding how volcanic ash is dispersed and how it impacts on the environment and infrastructure, as well as to use impact scenarios of a future eruption from the Soufriere volcano. It will also assist decision makers in the planning for such eruptions. Local participants from the public and private sectors are expected to attend this workshop, along with a number of volcanologists, environmental chemists, geologists, meteorologists, and risk analysts representing different universities in the United Kingdom, Belgium, and other places. The workshop will take place at the Paradise Beach Hotel Conference Room. The second annual Music Awards hosted by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association of Music Professionals was not only designed to recognize Vincentian music but also to commemorate National Heroes Month. President of AMP, Bomani Charles, says they decided to have the event in Heroes Month to show how music continues to shape the Vincentian culture and identity.
This year we challenged ourselves to reschedule the AMP Awards to fall in line with International Music Awards season, and more importantly, National Heroes Month. Because I believe that the music of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is deeply embedded in our heritage. From songs of struggle and freedom, songs of spirituality, to songs of joy, celebration, and revelry. Our history is incomplete without music that helped to shape our Vincentian identity and culture. So here we are in 2015, in this historic space, the Peace Memorial Hall, honoring the makers of our music, celebrating our individual and collective accomplishments over the last year.
Charles further challenges fellow artists and musicians to know their music rights, and he welcomed measures designed to protect their music.
Because when the dust settles and all the talking heads have moved on to the next topic, it's your intellectual property that is still left to be protected. The current situation where upwards of 85 cents for every dollar collected for royalties will leave St. Vincent and the Grenadines to go to Trinidad, Jamaica, the United States, United Kingdom, we consider to be unacceptable. We must set about the task of keeping more royalty payments in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which will ultimately mean calling on the broadcasters to play more Vincentian music. More consistently, and challenging ourselves as music makers to set ever higher standards in music production and marketing. I'm optimistic that we can do this together.
Some news on mass now. Staying true to its tradition, Blondie, Boyde and Friends is again the first mass band to launch its production for Vincy Mass 2015. At Saturday's launch, leader of the band, Elroy Blondie Boyde, told SVG Television News that patrons can expect to see the biggest production from the Blondie, Boyde and the Friends in 2015. Boyde says the band, that is this year themed Illusion Never See Come See, comprises some 10 sections and will be catering for over 600 masqueraders.
One moment in time, right? And this one, this now is music, the A of music, right? Then you had I really don't know Clouds at all. Remember the song? No, you're too young to know the song. This is 1 hour section now. This one gone to Beckway. The guy right in the back there. Right here, this one is gone to Beckway now because them untap the scene now with all inclusive. So Beckway has their own section now. This is Never See Come See, name after the band. Okay. Right? This one is a shadow. So don't catch the bone, eh? Because the bone is real, but the shadow ain't real, eh? So don't catch the bone. And this one is optical illusion. This one is optical illusion. Right? And we had a dream, and when you're dreaming, and when you're dreaming, you wake up, it ain't real. Sometimes you have some nice, beautiful dream, you know. You say happy when you, but when you wake up, boy, you don't speak. Right? Speech section. Okay. Right? This is magic. And this is Ricky Adams. You dig? This is Ricky Adams, them, they playing Mirage. You dig? And you go watch and see the Mirage, right? Because you know when you're in the desert, right? You dig? And this is the bomb. You dig? This is the bomb. The user of grammar, this is the bomb. You dig? And you know we have a king and queen.
The band leader says they are ready and are eagerly anticipating Vincy Mass 2015, and it is their hope to be the first band to cross the stage at Carnival City Victoria Park on Mardi Gras.
All the other bands that we tend to go by now, they launch, but the inside walking, we don't do that because we have a nice team. So when our girls and guys get girls together and thing, we go and play, we go reach impact before all of them guys, right? And it's hard to touch with the same because for yourself, I want to talk about the color. Don't let me talk about it, you talk about the color.
No, that's not my job, that's your job.
No, I don't want to talk about it because people feel like too bragging. Last year, I tell them I'm going to win them by 32 points. And this year, I'm looking at 50-something points because my color scheme. And you can't, and it's never see come see.